Alright, hey guys, welcome to the combo tutorial and test hand video. So this will be kind of like a guide on how you can play certain hands depending on which 2 and 3 card or even 4 card combinations that you have. So with the addition of Halki Fibrax and some other cards, we have different options now depending on which cards are in your starting hand. So it's not as linear as what it would be like summon zombie, activate zombie world, Unizombie for Bloom into Ballardrock into Vampire Sucker. That's not the standard turn 1 zombie play anymore. Fortunately, we have a little more options here. So first combo I'm going to show is going to be a 2-card combo with Zombie World and Solitaire. So you're going to activate Zombie World. Keep that towards the end. And then we have Solitaire. So normal summon Solitaire. Activate effect to tribute itself to summon a zombie tuner with 0 defense. So you're going to summon Unizombie. Activate Unizombie's effect, targeting itself to increase its level by 1 to send from deck to grave Mizuki. We're going to activate Mizuki's effect, targeting Solitaire to special summon. And then we're going to link these two. Also, I forgot to mention, if you have another extender in your hand that you want to discard, you can use that off the Unizombie. So if you had a second Mizuki, or you had Doom King, you can send it now. Otherwise, I'm going to use those two for a link summon into your Crystron Halki Fibrax. His effect will activate on summon to special summon from the deck your Glow Bloom. And from here, you basically do what you would have done if you had your Glow Bloom on the field before. You just link this off into Link Rebo, and now your Bloom will activate in the graveyard, banishing itself to special summon Doom King Ballardrock. Now here's your options. You can either leave it like this, if you think your opponent plays Call by the Grave, or you can link these two into Vampire Sucker. And now basically you get the same thing as before, except for free you basically get the Halki Fibrax. And during your opponent's standby, yeah, Doom King comes back, you draw a card. During their main phase, they get to activate 1 card, and then you can chain your Halki Fibrax, banishing itself as cost, special summoning, shooting Riser Dragon, and send whatever you need. So that's the basic 2-card combo for zombies with the Halki Fibrax. Now let's get into some more complex hands with 3-card combos. Alright, so in this combo you're going to have Unizombie or Solitaire, Banshee, and Jack-o'-Bolin. So what you're going to do is you're going to summon Unizombie, special summon Jack-o'-Bolin by discarding Banshee, and then activate Banshee to get your Zombie World from the deck. Use your Unizombie, send Mizuki from your deck to the graveyard, link these two into your Halki Fibrax, activate effect to special summon Glow Bloom from the deck, and then from here you can do the same thing, activate or link off Bloom for your Link Rebo, activating Bloom in the graveyard, special summon Doom King from the deck, link these two into your Vampire Sucker, and then now because we have the Mizuki in the graveyard, we can banish it, target Jack-o'-Bolin, special summon that back, draw a card. Opponent's turn, we are going to special summon Doom King Ballardrock during the standby, draw a card off Vampire Sucker. So now you basically got Pot of Greed. You can draw into hand traps, or on the first draw, if you drew into Super Poly or Rivalry, that would be really good. But now we have the additional disruption of Jack-o'-Bolin. So it's like a basically DD Crow or a Quick Effect Monster Reborn. We have the two negates on the Doom King. We have the Halki Fibrax that could summon Shooting Riser. You could also play like Desert Locust if you want your opponent to discard a card, which you can then summon off Jack of Bolin, so that would be an interesting choice too. So there's different things you can do now with the zombie. And since you can summon a tuner of your choice, a synchro tuner of your choice, and then you can summon a monster from the graveyard with Jack of Bolin, you can kind of see where this is going, where you can create your own synchro monster or whatever of your choosing. So that's a 3-card combo there. Like if you had a Solitaire in the graveyard, you could easily get a level 7 synchro on the board. So that's how you would make the Shooting Riser into Dawn Dragster play. Alright, so in this 3-card combo, you got Solitaire, Mizuki, Zombie World. So you can go ahead and activate Zombie World. It can also be Banshee, it doesn't matter. Summon Solitaire, activate to summon Unizombie. Activate Unizombie's effect, and instead of sending Mizuki, we are going to send Gozuki. And activate his effect, banishing Solitaire from the graveyard, to special summon Mizuki from our hand. So you can see where this is going. Basically, the two goals of your first turn is to activate Zombie World, and then get a Mizuki in the graveyard, and then make Halki Fibrax. So we can go ahead and do that. Summon out Crystron Halki Fibrax, use his effect, special summon Glow Bloom. So from here, we have an additional extender because Gozuki was sent to the graveyard, so we're going to Mizuki. Bring back Gozuki. Activate Gozuki's effect, send second Mizuki to the graveyard. And then from here, you have multiple options. You can go Mizuki, bring back Unizombie, Synchro Dawn Dragster, or you can you can link these two into Union Carrier. This is if you're playing the Buster Blade or Destruction Sword. You can go Union Carrier, activate Bloom, summon Doom King, and then Union Carrier target Doom King to equip it with the Destruction Sword to lock out your opponent from the extra deck. Personally, I feel like this the option with the Unizombie into Dawn Dragster is probably the most safe. Let's see, let's reset that. You have, let's see, there's other things you can do actually. You can link these two, or let's see. No, if you bring back the Unizombie, you can link these two into IP Masquerena for additional plays, and then link these two into Union Carrier, so that you could link off the Union Carrier during your opponent's turn. I'm just giving you guys suggestions. There's no right and wrong. It's kind of like depends on the situation. But yeah, I personally feel like the most safe play is to go for the Dawn Dragster. So unfortunately it uses up the Mizuki, so you don't get the extra draw of Vampire Sucker, but you can still do your standard play of going Link Kribo, banishing the Bloom, special summoning Doom King, linking these two into Vampire Sucker, and since it is protected by Dawn Dragster, you don't have to worry as much about Called by the Grave or Twin Twister or anything cosmic. And then during your opponent's standby, you bring this back. And actually, the cool thing is that so if a Dawn Dragster has to decrease its level by 2 in order to activate its effect to negate a spell trap, which drops us down to a level 5. Which means you can use Halki Fibrax Banish, special summon Shooting Riser Dragon, use its effect to send either Banshee or the third Mizuki to the graveyard. Excuse me. So you have a level 3 tuner and a level 5 non-tuner synchro. You could if you wanted to, you could make Crystal Wing, which would be really good. It's just a bit situational. but you do have the option for a level 8 synchro on your opponent's turn. So I would say that's pretty strong actually. And the cool thing is that your opponent doesn't know what you're about to do, so you have the versatility to choose the best line of play for your situation and your matchup. Okay, so now that I showed you guys a couple of basic combos, actually, there's one other combo I want to show you guys. It involves Jack of Bolin. I was gonna add this to the last video I made, but Jack of Bolin came out a little bit after that. But basically, if you have Jack of Bolin, Necro Banshee, and then also Glow Bloom, so it doesn't happen as frequently, but you can also make the most of this situation where you don't have access to Unizombie. So you're going to activate Jack of Bolin's effect to discard Banshee to the graveyard. And that's why it also helps to have this at 3. So you can more easily access options when you have Jack of Bolin in your hand. So you can banish Banshee to activate Zombie World. And then you normal summon Glow Bloom. And from here you can either make your Halki Fibrax, or if you want to play around the Beru, you can synchro for level 8, which Omega is probably the safest option because he's versatile and he can dodge things. So that's 3 summons. We're going to activate Glow Bloom's effect. Special summon Doom King from the deck. Wherever it is. Alright, there it is. And then if you have something like a Super Poly or Rivalry set behind that, it's actually pretty good. 2 disruptions, turn everything to zombies. We have a hand rip, and then we can also send Banshee back to the graveyard. And so that's, I was trying to find ways to play around evenly matched and things like that, or Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters. And this plays around Lightning Storm, Call by Your Grave, Twin Twister, Cosmic Cyclone, solely because Omega puts Banshee back to the graveyard. So even if they pop Zombie World, you can activate Banshee to get another Zombie World from the deck. And this plays around the Beru. It plays around evenly matched. In fact, let me show you guys, if they evenly matched, you get rid of everything except, well, you would chain Omega. You chain Omega after this, this already sent back in the graveyard. So you banish Zombie World face down. You rip the card from the Omega. And then what happens? You're left with Doom King on the field. You activate Banshee, which means you can just get another Zombie World back. And they still have to play through the 2 negates, 2 disruption Doom King. So, just pro tip here. If you guys are a dedicated zombie player and you are subscribed to my channel, then I'm very grateful that you are here for me to share with you some pro tips. That is a combo that I've never seen anyone else do, but it's something I discovered because it's a funny story actually. Like, my friend at Locals main deck's evenly matched. He hit me with that, and I was like, oh man, feels bad. Because I had set up a pretty nasty set of monsters on my field. And he just ripped apart the whole thing with evenly matched, so I'm trying to think of like more ways where if I have the chance to play around evenly matched, or things like that, then I will. And that's one of the combos that I figured out could work if you do see the Glow Bloom in your opening hand, or you see 1-for-1 with the Jack of Bolin. So we're gonna just do some test hands now and see how this deck flows. So I've been doing test hands and it seems that this deck works pretty well. And I'll be doing it here on camera. So you guys saw me shuffle. And I will, oh wow. Okay, double, wow. Okay, let's see if I can make this a little wider. Okay. So the main thing is that you want to see Unizombie in your opening hand. So we're gonna go ahead and normal summon Unizombie. Pray they don't have a hand trap because we didn't see Call by the Grave. And in this, we don't have access to Zombie World, so basically you're playing this deck as if you had checkpoints. So do you have Zombie World? No? Well, you gotta send Banshee. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we're send Banshee. Go ahead and activate it. Zombie World. And then we're going to use Jack of Bolin's effect. by discarding Mizuki to special summon. The next checkpoint is to get 2 monsters on the field, with one of them being a tuner. Unizombie is a tuner, fortunately, which means now we can go into the Halqifibrax. Halqifibrax effect, special summon Bloom from the deck. And then we'll go ahead and, based on this setup, it's actually looking pretty good because we have the Mizuki that we discarded. In fact, actually, I forgot to mention, we could have used Unizombie to discard Mizuki, which I will do that now, because that gives us additional options here. Because now we can use that Mizuki to go, if you want Omega, you can do that, bring it back now, and synchro for 8 and get the Doom King. That's, I don't know if that's the best play, but you could just play it safe. Link into Linkuriboh. Keep in mind, like, if you keep the Mizuki in the graveyard, your opponent's not going to activate the Beru or anything, because they want to see how far you'll extend. So this way, now Linkuriboh is summoned, so Bloom effect in the graveyard, banish, special summon Doom King from the deck. And then we can go ahead, link 2 into Vampire Sucker. And then we can activate the Mizuki in the graveyard to target Jacobolin, special summoning it. Actually, you want to put it away from the link zones, just in case. Vampire Sucker effect to draw 1. Oh, look at that. We drew a Super Poly. That is, personally, the reason why I want to go into Vampire Sucker more often is that it's more of a conservative board. Because let's say your opponent doesn't Nibiru, at least you get the extra draw, and you still have a Mizuki in the graveyard to extend if your opponent decides to Nibiru now. And you summon out the Doom King on your opponent's turn. So, yeah, there's options you can do. Right here, you can either use the Mizuki or you can just save it for next turn. You could bring back Linkuriboh, yeah, I don't know. Probably not the best use for it. Sometimes I like bringing back a level 4 from my graveyard if I hit Mothman, or if there's a Solitaire or Gozuki. So it gives me the extra synchro options. But from here we can just set the Super Poly, pass to our opponent. During their standby Doom King effect, special summon, draw 1. We drew a Mothman. So what we're looking at here, this is basically how you're going to play it out. You're going to use up Doom King negates however you see fit to disrupt your opponent. But as soon as your opponent does something, you're going to chain Halqifibrax, banishing it to summon Shooting Riser Dragon. Oh, whoops. Yeah, you're going to summon Shooting Riser Dragon, activating its effect. Just, you can send Banshee to the graveyard, because we already have Mizuki in the graveyard, so I prefer to send Mizuki, but Banshee is also good because if you have access to Zombie World, it gets you back in the game. So we do that, and then we have Jacobolin. So if your opponent were to activate something or summon a monster that destroys Zombie World or back row, we can activate this. Special summoning Banshee, which means now your Zombie World will be protected. And then we also have the Super Poly, summon Dragon Necro using any 2 monsters. And on top of that, if we really wanted to, we could Synchro 7 using these 2. Create Dawn Dragster on your opponent's turn in case they were holding on to any spells or traps. Or this is also how you play around evenly matched, because you can make this during your opponent's turn. So before they go to the battle phase, you just summon Dawn Dragster. So if your opponent declares or enter battle phase, you just say hold on, synchro for Dawn Dragster. Or you can even hold your Jacobolin to see if your opponent's going to use their graveyard. And some interesting plays that you can do now because of these extra deck monsters, which I personally like because I've seen and I've played basically all the control versions of this Zombie World deck, and it's just more fun when you can summon from the extra deck because it gives you. I feel like you have more personality in. You know, you watch the anime and then every character has like this big boss monster that they summon, and it kind of like identifies who these Yu-Gi-Oh characters are. I kind of feel like that applies to real life Yu-Gi-Oh as well, because you know I have a personal favorite monster, and then I'm sure you have your own favorite monsters that you can summon. So it kind of gives you like your own identity, because everyone has different playstyles. Now, I forgot where I put it, but I personally like summoning Zombie Necro. It's never, I feel like it's never necessary because you can win the game without it, but yeah, it's funny when your opponent picks up the card and feel like, whoa, that's OP. Even though it's not. I mean, it's pretty strong, but it's not broken. So, I'll just do another test hand. I'm doing this without any cut, in terms of like a video cut, so you guys can see. I'm shuffling, the deck is randomized, and I will have to basically simulate as if I was playing in a real tournament or a duel. So let's draw our 5 going first. Double Dangers, Jack Bull, and Unizombie. Alright, this is looking pretty good. Now, first thing you always want to do, get Unizombie out of your hand before you activate Dangers, because that will be your normal summon. Now I would probably activate a Danger before using Unizombie just to see what we can draw. And I always activate Mothman first because I want a lower chance of discarding Mothman. So 4, so that's Jack-o'-Bolin. Going from left to right. We will summon Mothman, draw 1. Look at that Zombie World. So if I had sent Banshee and drew into Zombie World, that would be a dead draw. But because we drew it, we don't have to send Banshee anymore. When I activate the Zombie World, we're going to use Unizombie's effect to send Mizuki to the graveyard. And then from there, we're going to activate Jackalope's effect. If they did have a... Let's say they did have like an Ash or something. We'll just call it by the grave now. Jackalope, we don't have to roll for that. It's going to discard itself. And then I will summon out the Danger Nessie, just because I want to get that out of the deck. So personally, I think summoning Danger Mothman is usually like the preferred thing, because a level 4 in your grave is more useful than a level 7. But anyways, from here, you're going to use these 2 for Link Summon into Hauki Fibrax. Activate his effect. Summon... Where is it? Quillbloom? Alright. And then here we have options, depending on what you're playing in the extra deck. Since we have the Mizuki, yeah, you can kind of decide what you want. Actually, you can even take like a word line of play where you use these 2 for a Union Carrier, equip Mizuki, and then bring back something, link into IP, and then you have another Mizuki. I don't know. You can get creative with this, but from here, I'm just going to link the Glow Up Bloom into Link Rebo, activating Bloom effect, banish, special summon Doom King. Okay, link to Vampire Sucker. Keep in mind, we did use up our hand for this, so summon Vampire Sucker. Because we used up our hand, I think it is a smarter play to try and draw back into cards. Because if your opponent has Dark Ruler no more, you'll just lose. So I think it's better to be conservative. Activate Mizuki effect. target Jacobolin. So we're going to special summon that in the far zone. Whoops. Alright, Vampire Sucker, mandatory effect to draw. We drew Super Poly. So we'll go ahead set Super Poly and pass to our opponent. So during their standby phase, activate Doom King to special summon. Vampire Sucker effect to draw. So we drew an Ash. So this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, we didn't have Super Poly and Ash, but we drew into them off of Vampire Sucker. So that just gives us more options because we can play more hand traps. They are tuners. If you do play zombie ones, Ghost Bell is actually not bad in this one. But we drew into Super Poly. We drew into Super Poly off of Vampire Sucker. So it is kind of a gamble, but if your opponent doesn't kill you, at least it gives you basically a pot of greed for next turn. But we're not done there, because Doom King now can do the 2 negates, 2 disruptions, or rather. And then we got Jacobolin can disrupt them if you so choose, depending on what the matchup is. Then we're going to use Halki Fibrax, special summon Shooting Riser Dragon, activating Shooting Riser Dragon. So this time we're going to send Mizuki to the graveyard, so we have more follow-up for next turn. Remember, if you have Unizombie in your graveyard, Mizuki basically gets you back into that for free. And it's one of the reasons why I'm playing 3 Mizuki again, because you can go through them like nothing. Like, the first turn went through 1, and then you kind of want the second or third one even. Like, maybe you can cut it to 2, but I even like seeing it in my opening hand sometimes. But from here, yeah, we got the Jacobolin, but immediately after Summon Shooting Riser, I'm just going to Synchro for FA Dawn Dragster. So we can block out some things that are important. I think a lot of decks basically nowadays will use multiple spells or try to evenly match you. So having that option is very important. It's not, I mean, it might not seem that good because they get to potentially activate 1 spell before you get to do anything, but you get to block out some pretty powerful cards. So unfortunately, it doesn't prevent them from doing a quick play spell or activating Lightning Storm. But yeah, but I mean, I think it's not too bad. Just having easy access to Dawn Dragster is still good. And then we haven't even used Jacobolin. Now the thing about Jacobolin, I guess we don't have any. We're not really playing anything like Artifact Cipher Winda, but you are able to summon it back with Jacobolin during your opponent's turn to floodgate them out from summoning, basically. So that's an option. We do have the Ash. You can either choose to Ash or choose the Super Poly, depending on what's more impactful. So, I mean, even with just that, it's like, that was a pretty good hand, and because I had 2 dangers and the Unizombie. And the Call by Grave as protection. Okay, that was a pretty good test hand. I'm glad I got to showcase that. And keep in mind, you can kind of play this deck however you want. There's no set way in stone, and I haven't really seen other people post like good zombie decks since Dual Overload was released. Like, they're not really utilizing the full power of Halki Fibrax or Union Carrier or Jacobolin. Like, I'm showing you guys straight up how you should be able to use these to do your combo and extend. So in the past with the zombie deck, I played it since last summer, so it's been 9 months. So I think I know what I'm talking about when I play the zombie deck. Alright, let's see what we draw in this test hand. Okay. Oh man, this is broken. We have 3 extenders. Technically 4 if you want to count that Banshee. But we go ahead and summon Unizombie. And then I'm going to set the 1 for 1. Well, actually, you know what? Because I have 2 dangers, I don't really care if the 1-for-1 gets hit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and activate Mothman. Look at that, we roll the 2, Banshee goes to graveyard. Summoning out Danger Mothman. Drawing 1. And even, well, it's a little redundant now, but we do have the Banshee in the graveyard. So it is helpful to have that in the graveyard because we can quick effect trigger Battle Drock if the zombie roll gets destroyed, and then get another zombie roll on the field. So go ahead and activate that. Going to activate Tsuchinoko's effect. At this point, I don't care about the 1-for-1. So 6. So we hit the Tsuchinoko. It will special summon itself. We will activate Unizombie's effect to send Mizuki to the graveyard. Okay. And then go into your Hauki Fibrax using those 2. Activate, and then you summon Glow Bloom. So yeah, once you get to this point, you can kind of do whatever you want. Let's see. Like I said in the earlier, I do like drawing cards off of Vampire Sucker. But in this case, because we have the extender, I'm going to activate Mizuki to target Unizombie. Summon. Link. Well, not Link. Synchro. FA Dawn Dragster for the protection. Link. Glow Blue. For Link Rebo. Activate Bloom. And we will special summon Doom King. Now, in this case, yeah, we just go Vampire Sucker. Let's see. So yeah, if you don't, if you have, yeah, I don't know. I'm always iffy about leaving 2 darks up without getting the Vampire Sucker draw. So I'm just gonna go for it. Because Dawn Dragster will protect from Call by the Grave and back row destruction. So we just pass to our opponent. During standby, Doom King, draw 1, drew a Called by the Grave. Okay. So we have Spawn Trap Negate, Monster Negate, Monster Banish, and a Foolish Burial. Oh, actually, if you guys know the trap card Peaceful Burial, it's more like that, where you can send a monster from your deck to the graveyard, but can't activate its effects for that turn. So in this case, if you negate a Svara Trap, as Chain Link 2, you can Chain Link 3. Banish to special summon Shooting Riser Dragon. Shooting Riser Dragon effect, send, I'll send Mizuki. Yeah, send Mizuki so that you have follow-up for next turn. And then immediately after, Synchro Summon into your level 8 of choice. I only play Omega in the current extra deck I'm playing. So that's what I'm going to summon, and then just rip a card out of your opponent's hand. So what, they're down 1 from the FA Dawn Dragster, and then this will rip 2, and then your Doom King can negate 2 things, so good luck to your opponent. I guess. I mean, they might be able to play through it. There's some crazy decks nowadays, but at the very least, for your following turn, you have options because you have Mizuki, drew into Solitaire, Called by the Grave. Yeah, so that was a pretty good test hand to show too. But I was a little hesitant about posting all my combos and stuff because I don't get to play in tournaments. So if people catch on and figure out how I'm playing the deck before I even get to play it, that would not be good. But because I'm looking out for you zombie players, and we're going through some tough times in the world right now, I just want to be able to help you guys out in any way I can. If I'm just producing, like a 30-minute video where you guys are watching in the background and learning how to play a zombie deck, then I am more than happy to do that. Alright, let's see what we can do in this next test hand. So obviously I plan on making changes to the deck eventually. Don't know when I'm going to be able to play it, so whatever, I'll just show you guys the combos anyway. You know, I figure why not, right? I'm sitting at home, working from home, and can't go to the gym, can't go to the card shop to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It feels like my life is on pause. I'm sure a lot of you guys are in a similar situation. You know, where maybe you can't even play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or you can't afford to buy the cards right now. And personally, like, I've been buying some cards and it just feels bad when I'm kind of just collecting at this point, whereas like the main appeal of Yu-Gi-Oh! To me is being able to go to the card shop, play this game with familiar faces and interact with, get some human interaction while enjoying a game that I like and grew up with. If you guys feel the same way, let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, here in this test hand, let's see. So we don't have Mizuki. We have a redundancy here where, oh, okay. Well, we're gonna activate Zombie World anyways. And then we're going to summon Solitaire. Activating Solitaire. Summon Unizombie from the deck. Alright, Unizombie. Activating Unizombie effect to send Mizuki to the graveyard. And at this point, we might as well just discard the Banshee. So, with the Unizombie effect, we're going to activate Mizuki, bring back one of these, and then make Halki Fibrax. Activate. So this is just the standard combo again. Depending on what you open in your hand, if you don't have the additional extenders, this is usually what you end up with. You end up doing. If you do have additional extenders, you get the other extra deck monsters of your choice. So go ahead and link that off. Make the Doom King. Well, bring out the Doom King after you make the Link Karibo. Actually, so instead of doing that, what you can also do, which I might not do in this case because we have Rivalry, but you can link these two into Union Carrier. Let's go ahead and show you guys that. Link into Union Carrier. Activate Bloom effect. Special summon Doom King. I'm just showing you guys a different option there. And I don't know. There's other things that are good. IP is really good with Union Carrier. You kind of need a lot of resources to go into it, which this deck definitely can do. The only problem is that what I find is that it's hard to go into IP without committing to it, because you'll usually get 2 link materials that you can use for Union Carrier or for any Synchro or Exceed, but then you don't have, because you get locked out from Globe Bloom and you can only summon zombies, it's really hard to go into 2 extra deck monsters before linking off your Globe Bloom. So that's the challenge. Because I'm not building this as a pure combo deck. This is kind of like a hybrid mid-range zombie control / combo deck. So still play the good amount of disruption, but we're not going to put out a 7 disruption board or anything like that. And I don't think that's the most optimal way to play right now. Because we have things like Nibiru and Dark Ruler, against a good player who side decks those cards and to get lucky and see it, you will get punished hard. So that's why I definitely prefer going the Vampire Sucker route, seeing seeing more cards so that the game can last longer. But that's just my personal style, you know. I kind of like the grindy Yu-Gi-Oh games, and so I built my decks to purposely play into that. I don't like Mystic Mine or anything like that, but I definitely like the back and forth control battle. I mean, personally, I hate playing against back row decks when I'm playing zombies because they disrupt so much. We're gonna, by the way, I'm doing another test hand as I talk. So we hit the Unizombie off of Mothman, so we get to draw a card. Yeah, anytime you draw into your what would you call these, like back row or hand traps off of your dangers or Vampire Sucker, it's so good. Like, maybe that's another benefit of cutting the deck down to 40, but personally, I think it's fine. Activate Solitaire, summon Unizombie. So, this is going to be the last test hand because it might get a little repetitive if you keep seeing the same setups over and over. But you get the idea now. Hopefully this video and my deck profile will help give you an idea of how to play the deck in this new Master Roll 5 post-dual overload. Unizombie will send Mizuki. Yeah, the way that I'm playing the deck now is just be a lot more trigger happy with Mizuki. Because, hey, it's at 3 and it's basically like Monster Reborn, except it's more easily accessible. So we do that, go these two into Hauki Firebrax, activate. Now, yeah, I was thinking like if you were playing a combo deck, maybe you could even go Mizuki into something and then make let's see. Well, you could go Dugaris, draw 2, and then discard 1, and then bring back to make Hauki Firebrax after that. But you know what, guys? I'll leave that up to you. Get creative with this. One good thing is that I haven't seen other people really post profiles that interested me for zombies post dual overload. So if I have to be the trailblazer, then I will be the trailblazer for you guys. So if you guys could improve the deck, then I would be more than glad to take suggestions from you. Yeah, we're just gonna go the Vampire Sucker route here. Some Doom King. Also, one thing I want to mention is that if you open Doom King in your opening hand, you can just send it to your graveyard, and then instead of the Solitaire, we have Doom King, right? Let's just show you guys for example. Like, we sent it to the graveyard off of Unizombie. Now we can special summon Jack-o'-Bolin instead. So, no, I think originally I was like, I'm never gonna summon Jack-o'-Bolin off of Glow Bloom because that seems pointless when you can get Doom King. But if you already have access to Doom King, you just do this instead. Link these two into Vampire Sucker. So it's basically like turning your Doom King in the hand into a useful card. See, that was banished. Activate Mizuki to target the globe. No, Jack-o'-Bolin. Sorry guys, I'm getting tired from filming for like an hour straight. Vampire Sucker draw. Drew Mizuki, so that's not too useful right now, but during our opponent's standby, Doom King comes back. Draw. So let's see. Yeah, we can flip a Reverie, lock them out. It's pretty good. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we went +3 on our opponent's on our first turn. And then we have 4 interactive cards during our opponent's turn, which is pretty annoying to deal with, to be honest. And we could also go into that Shooting Riser into FA Dawn Dragster if we want to, or we can just use Jack of Bowling to disrupt their graveyard. So that's it for this combo and test hand zombie tutorial video. If you guys found it useful, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because I update this every time there are updates to the deck or whenever new zombie support is released, directly or indirectly. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys have a good day. I will see you in the next one. Peace.